some that are going to be followers, some that are going to be doctors, some that are going to be auto mechanics. You know what I'm saying? It's all in the personality. But I think the ones that are meant to or have that passion, you have a passion. We've talked, I think about a week ago, we talked, and I can hear it in your voice. You have a fire and a passion in the pit of your belly, right? And if you don't do what that says, you'll never ever be happy. Never. You could do whatever you want to do until that passion is being fed. You'll never be happy. And it's up to us who have that passion to show the way, and we have to show the way. And yes, we will battle all the ranks that are given away. We will battle, all these kids that are 25 that have 10 dons and whatever. That we'll always battle that. But we got to fight the good fight, and we still got to keep pressing on and do what's right and be an example and pave the way for our students.
Oh, amen to that. Amen to that, because, a lot. Oh, and another topic that we kind of touched on, kind of paving the way. People in the arts and their faith. And people really not coming out with their faith in the arts because they don't think it's plausible. And the minute you told me your faith and that you stand by that and you are a martial artist, I was like, wow. Because I've talked to a few, and, it resonated with me. I felt you when you said that. Again, we talked about the feeling and the passion, and that's also something that's not talked about, and you don't see it out there. And I'm happy that this platform is now being built, and the ATTU network is being built now more so on radio, more than just a magazine. Because there's a lot of people in that magazine that have been featured in that magazine and will be featured in that magazine, and now on, Talking with the Masters, that really need their story to be put out there, because you, Grandmaster Kugel, have a wonderful story. And just the little tidbits that you shared with us so far today, mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. I mean, I'd have to have an 8-hour show just to pick your brain with the questions that I've got, let alone to take questions from callers. I got to admit, I'm gonna be very, very, very self-centered. I'm gonna keep you to myself today because I have a lot of questions that just I need answered, and they're general questions that, of course, the general public would want to know.
Right.
But they need to hear this. They need to hear that there's people out there in the martial arts world that kind of want to get involved in mixed martial arts, because, again, it's just the stigma that's been propagated because it makes money, that the two don't like each other. I'm a Christian. We talked about that before. My faith in God. I read the Word. I read the Bible. I pray. And I'm in church twice a week. Because my faith is in God, and this is my call. Just like your call on your life. You got this fire and this pit that's like somebody's put about 300 pounds of coal on, and if you don't do something with it, you're gonna burn up. Yep. So mine is the same thing. As a Christian, what I believe in. And do I battle with other Christians? Absolutely, because they believe, well, you shouldn't use violence, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes I have to go a little bit head-to-head with them. I try to do it in a respectful way, but because they don't believe, God doesn't want you to hit anybody. If you know the Bible, then you wouldn't have made a statement like that. But I have a Christian martial arts organization, Genesis Martial Arts International. We're in 17 countries, and we're in 17 states in the USA. And we have some like Benny Jet's brother, Alfie Gatis, he runs Southern California. Grandmaster Wade Williams, he's one of Angel Cabala's guys. Good Filipino stick knife man, excellent man. Grandmaster Ron Pierce, Senior Grandmaster Anastacio Emperado. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. Oh, yeah, so, I mean, and it just goes with your you've been in it forever. Not only have you been around the arts, but you've created your own style. So, I mean, could you let the listeners know about that? Because, I mean, just trying to take it back a little bit, when you came on and you introduced yourself and some of the things that you've done, you've created your own style. Now, that in itself is it. So you basically created your own lifestyle. I mean,
yes, I have. I mean, you know, yes, I grew up fighting in the street since I was 9 years old. And I remember, you know, these kids are 13. I'm 9, and some of these kids are tall. At least they look taller than me. You know what I'm saying? At 9 years old, and I was petrified. It's like, oh my God. So it's our neighborhood against their neighborhood. It's like, you know, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna die. You know? And I didn't. But it's like, okay, it's got to be more. It's got to be more. You know? And ever since then, it's like always fighting, always fighting. So it's like, man, if you're gonna fight, you got to find the right way to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until I was about 16 and a half, and then I tried, you know, martial arts. And, you know, I lasted there a couple months, and then I left. I did boxing for a year. So I incorporate a lot of boxing moves, but with the internal energy flowing at the same time. That's why if you see some of my videos, my later ones, you'll hear me breathing because it's releasing the energy when I hit. But, you know, so, you know, I was in Kempo, 25 years in Kempo. You know, I've trained, you know, through seminars of Hanchi Bruce Chutnik, you know, and different grandmasters up in New York. You know what I'm saying? Louis Ferrer. But, you know, we've done a couple seminars, you know, with a group of masters. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, very good jiu-jitsu man. And, you know, I've learned some of his stuff. And, you know, just as Parker through some of his seminars. And I've done a lot through seminars. Professor Serio, I trained with him for 5 months back in 1989. So, you know, I've got a history happening. You know what I'm saying? And a friend of mine opened up a karate school. This is years ago, and it was jiu-jitsu. It was actually Kuntao jiu-jitsu. So it's like, let me take a look. You know, so I went down there, and I liked it. And it opened my eyes to things I didn't really learn in Kempo. And after that, it's like my journey was just incredible in the jiu-jitsu world. So I'm a very street type person. So when I create something, it's like, is this gonna work? And I tell my students the same thing. When something you want to try, you don't think it's gonna work, it's not. Have that come in real life. I want him to come after you full blown, and I want to see you shut him down. And that means if you mess up, he's gonna retaliate in the blink of an eye. How are you gonna shut him down before he can retaliate? And then go in and finish him quick. So what they do, it has to be something that when I see it, it's legit. It's not, well, I'm going to punch him in the head. I want to tell you, there's a lot of guys. I got guys who can take a punch. They're street fighters, and they're rugged. They got biceps as big as my legs. And you hit them in the head, it does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it's like, okay, what are you going to do to shut him down? And that's how the system is designed. It's designed for a woman who has to face off against a man, but punch for punch does nothing. Well, I'll poke him in the eyes. Yeah, you can do that. What if you miss? What are you going to do now? And I always put the what ifs in our system because my students have to understand just because you throw a punch doesn't mean it's going to connect or it's going to hurt. You may try to poke the eyes, you may miss. He may grab you. What are you going to do? That's real life. There's no guarantees in the street, I tell them. There are no guarantees. I don't care who you are. And if anybody tells you that, they're lying to you. There are no guarantees. The only thing guaranteed is how you train and prepare yourself and get knowledge and take that and apply it in the dojo to real life. Real life. So when my guys punch, they don't punch far away. They punch within 3 feet, full speed, once they get to that level. Why? Because that's where the guy's going to punch you from. If not, he's going to grapple with you if he gets any closer. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's how our system is designed. It's a very quick, intense, fast motion.
Well, it's something that's been adapted. It's a merger of styles.
Absolutely.
You know, more so to blend, and not, you don't see it as often anymore. You know, with people in the merging of styles, because the old traditional styles have kind of gone by the wayside, so to speak. You know, but it's nice to know that yourself and a few others that I'll be interviewing have all kind of, you wanted to know more, and it wasn't enough. So when you got as far as you could go, you started to create your own and started to merge and blend and take this with this and add this and throw this with that. You know.
Absolutely. You know, no matter what you're doing, and I tell my students the same thing, no matter what you do, make sure it can be applied in a real-life situation. And always give yourself a negative aspect. What if? And how you going to shut him down real quick? Because I tell my students, you've got more than one attacker. You have 1 second per man. That's all you got. And and they'll say, well, I'll get beside him, and I'll get another student beside him. It will be 2 feet away, and we'll come after him real quick. Say, what happened? Well, you came too fast. I said, that's real life. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle this situation? So I teach them. And then it's going to be practice. It's got to be who they are. It's got to become who they are. And that's real life. So don't think just because you walk around with a black belt on, you're bad, you're this, you're that. You don't know who you're going to meet up with. Just know how to shut them down. Shut them down. That's all you can do. Then go in and finish it real quick.
Well, again, you speak on the fact of what the martial arts was built for. The martial arts, unlike grappling, the martial arts was built to go to the death. It wasn't built to literally like, look, I have to defend myself. And me defending myself doesn't mean I'm disabling you. I'm taking you out. Because if I don't take you out, you will find me. You will take me out because I didn't finish my job. See, that's an actual fight.
And that's what it is. I tell my students this. You got 2 guys coming after you. I said, I can drop you, and I'll know because I'll hear you. I'll know you're not coming back into this fight for a certain period of time. This allows me to handle Junior. You know what I'm saying? Your best friend. Because I can't have you getting up, coming back into this mix of things again. Because now you're coming back more aggressive and angrier. So now I'm fighting a bull. I'm not just fighting, some guy who want to take me out. Now I got to fight a bull. I said, you got 1 second. That's all you got. What is your move going to be? How's it going to be effective? And I teach them, how to shut that down real quick. And it gives them their time to handle the other guy and drop him too. Everything has to happen fast. There's too many weapons out there. There's too many things that can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it can't be. It can't be. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there as quick as you can.
Well, that's the actual fight process, and you see, it's like you know it and you speak about it as if it's just second nature, and your students truly are blessed because you care, and you'll put them through the paces and through the paces and through the paces to where they're going to earn it because they're going to live life and they're going to question. See, you brought up earlier, getting rank isn't all about the physicality of martial arts. Getting rank is also about living life. And I feel that's not talked about enough because like you said, you would talk to someone or you be watching someone who's been in it just as long as you or maybe a little longer, and then you would kind of approach them and ask them the questions that you said had nothing about a fighting style, technique, stance, power, nothing. What you said earlier on air was that you would ask them about life and ask them how they thought about things and how they handled things. That's amazing because that's a person. It's like, look, these are things that I need to know as experiences because those experiences are sharpening my fighting skills. They're helping to hone my fighting skills, but they have nothing to do with fighting. But they have to do with life.
Well, life is a trip in itself. Depending what happens to each individual in their lifetime, from their childhood on up, how we do things differently. Some will get into a certain situation where it creates a lot of pressure on them, whatever it may be. They're going through depression and they don't want to live anymore. Somebody else, it brings a fight up in them, and then they fight back hard. So what we do as teachers, we have to teach to take there, and I do it with my students, you know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you, after a while you get to know them, you feel them out. When certain things break them down. Well, they can't break down. Now's not the time to break down. Now you got to teach them how to build it up again. And this situation happens again, grow off of it. Every situation is an experience. Is it easy? No.